10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel?
Why must everything in this country be covered with monosodium glutamate? You can't even say it. I can say rat droppings. It does not mean I want to eat them.
I turn down chicks left and right. Your chicks are your left and right.
Now save your breath and cure your pies. Hey, look, so what's a heck of 2 roof lights? The Stanislaus house frame furniture, and the Scotcher cushions with matching sci-fi cover. Yeah. Right. It's a terrible pasta to the party with the blueberries.
Get your full name, information, and drip. Oh, man, you didn't hang up on me, did you? What kind of total moron would hang up after winning Kiss tickets?
This is a great opportunity. I'm so glad you see that.
Did you draw that?
What?
The wolf.
Yeah, of course. What's his name? Ruby.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
We're just like Kevin Bacon.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Coming to you live from Laurentian University, CKLU 96.7 FM. This is Real Music.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Please, Wildstyle, let me handle this. That idea is just the worst.
And welcome back to another week of Real Music. Needle's going haywire, but we're back. We're live in the studio at CKLU. And I say we because it's not just me and Ted, folks. Ted is here, but also we have another guest. And it's going to be... We're going to have a sick time here on Real Music because we have next weekend in Sudbury. It's called?
The Sudbury Indie Creature Con.
With a K.
With a K.
I always say that to people too. It's like, what is that? It's like, okay, spell it out, but with a K. S-I-K-C? It's like, no. C-K. Anyway, and just like CKLU, we're sick with Douglas here with and Natalia. She's a bit quiet. It's okay. You want to be on air? It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. If you want to, you can. All right. So we're talking sick, and we're talking movies, and I'm gonna let Doug. Doug.
Doug's
fine?
good.
Okay.
Doug's good.
One of my favorite lines from a movie. I'm going to get Doug. He's going to introduce you to Sick. And do it, Doug.
All right, well, we have Sick coming in to Sudbury next weekend on the 28th, 29th, yep. September 29th, Friday, September 30th, Saturday, and October 1st, Sunday. We have a VIP brunch. We'll be taking over Larch Street all the way from Place des Arts all the way down to the Gory Hole.
Oh, nice.
So we have a whack full of guests, vendors, screenings, late night stuff going on, after parties, special drinks, straight jacket awards, the list goes on. It's going to be a wicked time.
Now, movies. Because I have to throw this in there. I saw on your list you're playing some movies as well. So we are. What are you playing that just like other people, mm-hmm. I have been seeing posts, and you have a special announcement next week or whatever. That's fine. You don't have to share that one. You can share with what you are.
For CKLU, I will share the secret, but also all those posts are just made up. There's nothing going on next week, and I just like throwing stuff on the internet for people to look at. But no, so next weekend on Friday to talk about the movies. First of all, we got Psycho Goreman.
Oh,
familiar with that?
Yes.
One of the funniest movies, horror comedies, indie films of all time. It was fantastic. It brought me right back to my childhood. That's directed by Steven Kostansky, and Matthew Ninabar, who plays Psycho Gorman, will be there in person, as well as Kristen McCall. Now, I want to say I apologize off the bat because I can never get her last name correct, but she's absolutely fantastic. She's coming in as Pandora, and Alex Chung will be there as Darkstream.
Nice.
Yes, and he's also a stuntman who does like FUBAR and Titans, all kinds of Netflix show. He's actually a very well-versed actor, stuntman. He's pretty cool. He's a good guy to meet while you're there.
Cool. Any other ones?
Well, what else do we have here? We have Brigitte Kingsley and Andrew Simon are going to be joining us on Friday night.
Yes.
A couple Sudbury natives, I hear, or at least Brigitte anyways.
Yeah. I met her. I was just reminiscing this. I don't know why. Reminiscing about this. I used to work in the film industry, as people, or as our fan knows. And I work in locations. And I met her on my second show. And it wasn't even like her role in the movie was a one-day thing, and it was the other woman. That's it. There was no other name for her in the credits, whatever, but she was the other woman. Yeah. So, one of the other cast crew members said, "Yeah, that's my cousin." Really? Like, Somerville is your cousin? It's like, yeah. It's like, okay. It's Dark Rising, right? So it's so I got talking with her and everything else, and then all of a sudden we got to about a year later, and I got a chance to interview her when Night Christ came out.
Nice.
At Cinefest. Nice. So it's an amazing movie. If you get a chance to see it,
no, I'm familiar.
It's and I like to say that she's my connection. To Colin Mockery. So anyway.
To Colin Mockery. No, but here's what actually was a funny story about Brigitte is I was telling her that we had press opportunities, and before I even said any name, she goes, I'll go to OJ. And I was thinking to myself, like, how do you even know that that's an option? And she did, but she'll be down next week, so I hope we're able to work something out with her and get her on the show. But she will be there, and we'll be showing The Astonishing Tales of Terror.
Yes.
Roctopussy.
Yes.
Which is a name I love saying and love making sure I make eye contact with people when I say it, just to make sure it's welcomed in the room.
when they started the movie, I've been a follower of Andrew and his work.
He's amazing.
And when they said that they're doing this, okay, yeah, I'm because I tell people too, is like. I'm very transparent with whatever I'm talking about, and Brigitte has calendars out every year. She puts out a calendar, and I've purchased the last 5. They're not up or anything, but I have them.
They're under my mattress.
Yeah. So, but everything goes through a good cause and everything else, and I'm a true supporter of especially local filmmakers and stuff like that. When they said that, hey, we have these shirts available on, I think it was TeePublic at the time. I think I was the first one to get both of them. I can't wear one of them out in public until next week. I am definitely, Ted's going to wear it. I'm going to make sure Ted is wearing it. I have the Astonishing Tales shirt, and the other one is the cartoon-looking...
the comic book? Yeah, the Astonishing Tales promo art, the comic, the poster is literally beyond... any $100 million productions I've seen. Like their materials are amazing for that movie. It's absolutely gorgeous. With you saying that about Brigitte and the calendars, just so you know, my father is going to overtake the throne as her biggest customer. He's already bothered the distribution company Black Fawn to get a copy of the film so he can have it to show up to get it signed so he doesn't have to buy one there and look like a chump in front of Brigitte. He's going to run right to her. I've been bugging her the whole time, so I'm actually very excited that her and Andrew are coming. Andrew, I don't think people realize, is a director of like a million traits, and him and Brigitte make these films, and how, like, go get Roctopussy on Blu-ray. Go get Astonishing Tales on Blu-ray or DVD and look at the behind-the-scenes features and watch that man build sets. Watch that man literally put his blood and tears and all this stuff, and it's absolutely a wonderful film.
Yes, I love movies, and yes, I have a huge collection, but on DVD and Blu-ray. But if anyone was to look at my collection, it's mostly special edition collections where it has all the behind-the-scenes stuff and everything, and that's what I watch. And watching him doing it, because this is what he sees. This is what he's doing. And the way that, like, just the fact that he had to wait so long just to find the right space to do that, as it were, the altar, that type of thing, and have the spot for the water where they like escape from, type of thing. I don't want to give anything away, but it's like it's an amazing movie. Just the behind the scenes itself, and just the work that they went into it, and passion project, and how far and how long it took them to do it, because they were doing other projects. Yeah, that type of thing, because they wanted this project to be what he wants it.
And that's why Sick, a lot of the times, like I tell people, they always ask, like, oh, like, you know, next year, who are the biggest guests you're going to do? And I'm like, well, it's like, I love giant productions on horror films through studios and all that as well. We try to stick to the indie, because when you start figuring this stuff out and you're watching a movie that someone literally has put everything they have into it, and I'm not saying not everyone does that, I'm just saying when you watch something like Astonishing Tales of Terror and you know what went into that film, the appreciation you have and love for a film almost grows by 10. So they're wonderful additions to the week.
Yeah. So I can't go without asking, and it has been a while, because Ted is very quiet. But we hadn't had a guest in the studio for probably since before the summer, and my mic. Here we go. So I figure, hey, I had to brush off my questions. All right. So since you're here, Douglas, I have to ask, what? Because this is something I always ask everybody. What's your favorite movie? And it can be, now here's the thing, it can be your favorite of all time, but you can also break it down of your favorite all time or your favorite in the last 5 years as well. Because as you know, like we are in a pandemic, and and a lot of people are very creative with their movies and everything else. So, but what we'll do is we'll do with favorite movie, and then because of Sick, we'll mention, then we'll do favorite horror movie.
I'm in.
So favorite movie.
Okay, so favorite movie too. When you have to remember now, I am going to date myself a bit here too. My favorite movie of all time that I could watch, probably be trapped on a desert island by myself and be still sane in 20 years, if that's the only movie I had, would be RoboCop. There's a lot of reasons for that, though. It's not like a one-time watch and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite movie. I remember being a kid and we walked in with, because that movie came out 2 years after I was born. So it's not like I was, I'm not like a true RoboCop follower. But I walked into the room with my younger cousin and I. My brother was watching with his friends, who's 10 years my elder. So when we walked in, I saw the toxic spill scene when and I remember my cousin ran out of the room, and I remember sitting there being like, that is probably the scariest thing to date I have ever seen in my entire life. And then as I got older, I really got into like Basic Instinct, watching these kind of films, and I was like, who is this Paul Verhoeven man? And went in and started doing research and found out his meanings behind RoboCop, and then I started dissecting RoboCop and watching it probably 4 or 5 times a year for the next 20 years of my life. And now I'm just like addicted. Like I absolutely love that film.
So if you were given the task of, okay, do you want to watch RoboCop? I bet you would say, I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
So that's one of my favorite, like.
That's what I mean. The whole film,
it's like small things in there and everything else, and it's like just the minor details and stuff like that.
Everything, and just the overly like ridiculous amount of violence, and just holding those shots for like 2 seconds, like when Ed's blown apart the businessman in the room at the top, just holding that shot for that extra 2 seconds and seeing those 3 to 4 extra bullets explode his body makes you realize the ridiculousness of this film. It doesn't make you think like, oh, this is so gory and gross, this is horrible. It makes you think like, no, this is right. This is a good statement on our society. People want to see this. They want to pretend like they turn around. It's like, it's just all around. I can watch that film a million times over. Never a bad thing to say about it.
Yeah, my dad, we watched it one time, and it was on TV. That type of thing. I never got a chance to see it in theaters.
Not right.
But on TV. And my dad's like, you know who that guy is, eh? At the end, who got killed? It's like, no, who's that? That's the guy who's the captain in Beverly Hills Cop. It's like, what? Yeah. So that's when I do that rabbit hole of like certain things, like I don't know who this actor is, and then I go back even more and I'd see, I've seen him in that, I've seen him in that, I've seen him in that, and I catch up to RoboCop, and it's like, okay, because he was one of the with Ned Beatty. I think it's Ned Beatty. I know they were in Deliverance, yes, but they also had a reunion type of thing in a 1991 film. 1990, sorry. Captain America. Ronnie Cox played the President of the United States, and Ned Beatty played his childhood friend who actually believed in Captain America and stuff like that. So, yeah. But what I really didn't like about the movie, watching it now, is the Captain America going on one mission as Captain America and gets captured. It's like...
There's plot holes in this film.
Yeah, so when they came up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything else, and so they did a montage of several missions. So that made me a little bit better. So, and Joe Johnson can't go wrong.
No.
So, but I can go forever talking about MCU films, just because this year
on MCU films, I got as far as the one before Black Panther. I still have not seen Black Panther, and then I went back for Thor 3, and I still haven't seen... I haven't even seen Endgame, Infinity War.
All it was a pre-pandemic.
Yeah, and I saw them in clips and stuff. I have nothing against MCU. I just I don't have most time. I thought I really pick the movies I watch. I wish those are movies. Those are the reason why I also go to the theater too. Like I love watching huge action films. Like I know I have my indie. Like I love indie, but I also like when I go to the theater. Believe me, I want that $20 better be spent well. Someone better be exploding, and about 20 cars and about 30 machine guns better be.
And on top of that, it's the atmosphere.
Oh yes.
Because I remember going to see Endgame, and just the certain aspects of it, I knew going into it I was going to cry. That type of thing, just like Wakanda Forever. I knew it. But we had the whole family there. And we had an incident where there was a... Everyone knows this anyway. There was a fire at the theater. And they had to close off certain auditoriums, but they also had to cancel the afternoon of shows. I'm in the parking lot. It's like... But I'm like acting like a guest, not someone who worked there. It's like I don't know anything. So I want to see this. I got to see this movie because at the time I was working on a movie as well, and I knew the people that were working on set. They were going to see it as well. So they were seeing it either the Saturday or the Friday. Like after we left set, they were going off to see it. So I can't get this spoiled for me. And I couldn't go on the Thursday. I always go on the Thursday just because I work there. I want to see it before it gets spoiled for me because I'm
sick that day,
in and out of theaters and blah blah blah. So I joke about how I can make the perfect or the most brutal movie because I can clip. Okay, I remember seeing that scene in there, and I go with it. Scene in there, and I'm like, remember nothing of like anything, and it's just I make my own movie of all these other clips of different movies and everything else. So, but yeah. One of the ones I was very excited for, and then the pandemic happened, but it was the announcement. It was the summer before at Comic-Con, and when they announced, and they brought out the director, and the director brought out the lead, and it was a movie called Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, Legend of the Ten Rings, and the director came out and he introduced Simu Liu, Canadian.
Yep.
His first TV show was a Canadian hit, and then his first movie, Shang-Chi. I didn't know anything. I read the comic books as a kid, and everything else, and I didn't know I didn't want to see any kind of trailers whatsoever going into it. And of course, the pandemic happened. They were filming in Australia at the time, so they were halfway through, but then I think Australia and New Zealand were the first ones to get back into filming and stuff like that about 6 or 7 months later. So, but it still delayed it. All of a sudden they said, okay, well, no, it was going to be a May. It's like I got excited because it's going to be a summer movie. Then they delayed it again to, it's only till July. That's fine. Yeah. Then they went to August, or I think it was beginning of September, it's like, okay, well, I'm still going to see it.
They had
And
it made its money.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And then, and now I see movies that have been filmed, and like Wakanda Forever, that was filmed in the pandemic. Because certain scenes in it were just like a one.
Mm-hmm. Like one, yeah.
Nobody in background type of thing, and then go to the other person, that type of thing. So it was like isolated sets and everything else, and obviously they film everything in Atlanta, where they have a big studio there too. But I'm also a big fan of TV, so all those productions of Star Wars that they do it up like a movie, and it's like, okay,
TV has gotten beyond me now. I'm one of those people, like, if I can catch a series, I get 3 episodes in and I don't see it for 4 days, I'm over it. I think the last season, I watched Twisted Metal because I'm a huge video game fan. Yeah. But I watched the last show that I truly, truly watched would have been True Detective Season 1.
Season 1?
Yeah, I saw Season 2 and all that too, but I don't like to tell people that. But Season 1 was... that was like the last true season of television I watched and was like, okay, TV's going somewhere. And then it became, you're right, like movie productions.
Yeah.
I do also say this too, because I'm a huge horror fan, huge indie fan and stuff like that, but I tell people, Star Wars fans, and listen out there, Star Wars fans, are the absolute worst movie fans to deal with. I mean, holy man, but I understand what's happening to their movies, so I get what's going on there.
Yeah.
I love, like, let's say if we ever got... who did the last Star Wars? He did Brick and Glass Onion, and I'm forgetting his name for some reason. Knives Out guy there. Rainn Wilson?
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
If a horror movie was to announce that guy was directing, I don't care what he did. I'd be like, thank the Lord. We get someone. You guys get him. You're like, look, he ruined our entire world. He did all this. I'm like, you guys made some of the greatest movies made by man. Literally, right? So, no, Star Wars is a different world on its own. That thing.
Like they have... There's an article written where they actually have, like, Star Wars fans hate Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
That type of thing. There's so much, like, there's internal hate. It's like, can we not just, like, love the fact that we have something?
No.
That type of thing, right? Like it's up there. It doesn't matter.
I think
like, it's some of the fans act like armchair quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, everyone's a gatekeeper.
Type of thing.
as soon as they did the whole Greedo who shot first, that's when I think everything just went sour for Star Wars fans. Yeah. But no, also speaking of like when we were talking about the older movies from the 80s, and I'm going to date myself. I forgot to mention too, which I was going to bring up. I also will share the secret screening. I will just for CKLU though. That's it. Everyone else finds out on Monday.
Yeah. So if you're listening, CKLU fan. Notice I'm saying fan.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
But also, if you are listening and then you find out, you have no link to the ticket until Monday. But no, we on Saturday, we actually had some Canadian stuff. Canadian film has always been the biggest piece of my entire life. Like when I say RoboCop's my favorite film, also, not going to lie, robotic police force, cyborg monster is also a giant reason why. But Canadian film is literally what I stand for. Like I was telling you earlier, huge Cronenberg fan. I love everything that comes out of like Quebec. Like that industry is pretty much the only industry we have in Canada. It's like the French films that come out of there. Other than that, we're just mixed in the domestic box office. But we have great classics. We have Lynn Griffin and Leslie Donaldson coming down to the came out in 83, so the 40th anniversary screening of Curtains, which I don't think people understand when you get into Canadian horror. It's not just this basic, here's your first and second act of violence. It's literally the most complex, just traumatic movie you've ever seen. I love Curtains. It's absolutely one of my favorite movies. And then we have Saturday night. So I'm going to tell you this quick. We have Steve Hayning coming down, who worked for Universal for like 10 years, did a bunch of music videos. He does headshots for all the celebrities. He's way up there. His wife's in a fantastic band called Living Dead Girl. Throw them out one because I was actually starting to listen to them lately. Nothing to do with the event, just being nice. Steve Hayning is literally one of the coolest guys. He goes around and teaches filmmaking for indigenous youth, for urban youth, for young youth. He doesn't like to use these terms. He told me just people in general, but that's who he targets, right? He went out and made a horror film called Leanne for the cheapest amount of money he can or could to practice what he preaches. So we have the Canadian premiere of that Saturday night, actually.
Oh, nice.
So it's about a social media influencer that stays at night in a spooky house. We have to find out what happens to her. It's absolutely fantastic. It has a great story to it, and I'm excited a lot about that because it hasn't aired in Canada.
Good. That's awesome.
I've seen it because I had to watch it, but
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm excited. So going back to my favorite films, I watch Videodrome probably twice a month with Popeye's chicken on the side of that. Little Videodrome and Popeye's on the side. That happens at least once a month. And I would say Naked Lunch happens a lot too in my life. I love that movie. Like that's why I said, when you think horror, don't think Doug's sitting there at home watching all these Freddy movies, or you guys can come up to me and be like, hey, name all the Freddy movies. I can't. But I can tell you some other
Freddy
things.
movies, it's like part 1, part 2, part 3.
10.
Freddy's dead.
Yeah, I love New Nightmare though. I love New Nightmare.
I love that idea, and it was an awesome idea, and the fact even when I saw the very first movie, that was the first movie I saw with John Saxon. Then I found out about Bruce Lee and that Jim Kelly and John Saxon. Jim Kelly at the time was a black belt karate champion at the time. Jim Kelly. Okay, so you have to look at. I wish this was a video podcast. Jim Kelly is not the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He's an African American, big afro. He actually Yeah, there we go. So Enter the Dragon was his first movie, and then I think his next movie after that was One Potato, Two Potato, Hot Potato. I think that was the name of it. Anyway, but yeah, and that's how I got. Okay, well, that's how I go down the rabbit hole, right? John Saxon. Okay, and now he plays the dad. It's like, well, maybe I can make a movie where he's the same character. That type of thing, right? So
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There was, and I could share this idea too, because half the actors that I wanted for my ideal dream movie or project that I wanted to do was almost like a wedding movie. But the bride and groom, their parents, both divorced. Okay, one is still single. So say like the
groom's mom or
the bride's mom is already remarried and is Christopher Walken, but her birth dad, who sadly passed away, John Witherspoon, who's from the Friday movies, played the dad.
I know these people. Are you pitching them in a role, or are you telling me this happened?
No, this was my dream.
Oh, my Lord.
My dream,
okay.
I wanted to do this.
Okay.
And Christopher Walken was the stepdad, and then over on the other side, where the groom's parents, again, has nothing to do with the moms. It's more about to do with the fathers and the father-in-laws and the stepdads and stuff like that. So the other side was... who was it? It was, I don't want to give away the other one. So, but the other one was another, I think it was more of a boyfriend or a stepdad to him, and he was a stuntman. And yes, Jackie Chan. So just to get all these different actors of different genres to be in this type of Father of the Bride type of movie. That type of thing. And now it's like, I'll never be able to do that. But there's still ideas. Okay, I can probably replace him with him. And then I'm going, it's like, okay, well, these are now older actors that I grew up watching that are, yes, like Christopher Walken is still one of my favorites. But now it's like, okay, well, if I can't do that, well, what about Ice Cube in the role of a dad as well? And it's like, I gotta put somebody else in there too then. Because his role in 21 Jump Street, especially 22 Jump Street, was hilarious. Just the meme that they put out there with
He brought back the 80s police captains.
Yeah, there's a scene, a montage in 21 Jump Street where they're doing their whole thing in high school and everything else, but the montage is going to Ice Cube song of the F the Police.
Yeah.
So it's like, and on top of that, I know it's not playing in theaters anymore, but it is on streaming right now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. He plays a character in it.
Who's Ice Cube?
Plays
Splinter?
No, he plays a bad guy. Plays the Fly. The Baxter Stockman's son, actually.
You
know how Baxter Stockman was a Fly? I can't remember what his name was. It's losing my mind now. Yeah, but in the movie, he plays this Fly, and he recites lyrics that would have been an NWA song, but he adapted it for the movie.
I see, and this is the thing, okay, like with Psycho Goreman, a lot of times when you hear Steven talk about that movie too, you talk about him like in the Ninja Turtles. I want another Ninja Turtle movies in the suits. I don't want any more of the CGI stuff or cartoon. I mean, the animated stuff looks amazing. I'm not saying any of these are bad. I'm just saying no. I love to see, and they used to go on interviews on Oprah and stuff in the suits, and they I love. That's why I like Psycho Goreman. It's bringing it back to that like practical effects, practical suits. Matter of fact, I just got myself a giant paint spraying machine, so I can start looking into this a little bit. I want to explore that avenue as a RoboCop fan as well too. That practical violence, I'm telling you, needs to come back, right? And big wish.
I do remember being a kid. Because this is the corner right here, where we're at right now in downtown Sudbury on CKLU. The corner right here, Shoppers Drug Mart, used to be the Odeon Theater. And that's where the first Ninja Turtles from 1990, it played there. And the lineup for it was up and around the corner to the Grand.
1990 would be your release. Thank you. I was looking it up. Actually, I got a boot for parking in illegally in the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot.
Yeah, that's why I said with the capital letters.
You did,
not.
And I understood that completely. Yeah. He actually waited next to the truck, watched me get mad, and then popped out. I'm here to save you. No, you're the guy who put me in this position. But no, I remember that. No, I want to get back to scary movies. It's time that the world actually goes back to being scared from movies and not scared from life. That's the way I look at it. It's like let's put horror back on the screen and try and take it over our lives.
It was one of those things too that if I had the chance to watch any horror film, I will. You know, like it took me. It's one of those things where it's like everything's streaming now, but it's like I just in the room just. I have an office and I watch TV in it, and just in the other room was my old office in my house. So now it's my movie room. I can just go, stand up, go. But I got to a point where I'm just lazy. Is it on streaming somewhere? Where's Hellraiser? I just want to watch Hellraiser. Come on. I just want some torture horror. Come on.
I'm a big fan that I have my streaming channels. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I was one of the big protesters from the beginning. Like, even a lot of directors are going back saying how it's the future now and things like that. It's nice to have, but I still will always, like, I don't have a collection, probably anything that's 10% of yours. I just keep my criterions, and the ones I have signed that are just, they meant something to me. And if I'm asking you to sign anything for me, it's because like this meant something to me. It's not because, you know.
And you're probably like me, where if it's personalized, that's fine. Yeah, but if it's like one of those generic ones you get online type of thing, it doesn't matter. I'm not selling it. It is mine. I don't care.
I love that.
And get back to Brigitte. Her stuff that she signs. She actually, because my name is quick and easy, OJ. I understand that, juice. You know, and I think there's 4 of the 5 calendars. Apparently, she found out my birthday, and in October, it's got a heart around it and happy birthday. So it's like,
she is one of the most sweetest people I've ever had to work with, and I've had, like, honestly. She's not going to be a guest next year. She's just going to run the show because I could use her help. She's absolutely wonderful to work with.
I just have to say one thing because nobody saw it. Punch Buggy. So
I think I say one bad thing about Brigitte.
No, it's because Punch Buggy went by, so it's just one of those things for me.
Yeah.
It's bad when we had this beautiful window,
Yes.
and it's like I get distracted by sirens and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to having your
the whole event.
sick weekend.
Yeah, so the weekend
So-
is more than just movies. What are you looking forward to
Yeah,
most? Are you familiar with all the other activities we have going on?
Yeah. I you get some vendors as well and stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
I'm a fan. I was telling Natalia. I gotta get it right. No. I want to get it right. There's been a few people that even when I work with, I actually have to get them to say it one more time. Say your name, because we do have a lot of different people, and there's one person that they said their name, and it's like I had to like click in because he doesn't look like that type of name. But say it again. I always like to get. My problem I have is that I can't roll my R's.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say roll up the rim. But I'll get it right, and then I want to get it right and stuff like that. So Natalia, okay. But what was I talking about?
Different events we had going on.
Oh yeah. So like Rob Chiquetto.
Oh yes, no, I was already waiting to give him a shout out, dude. He's my main man.
Yeah.
Rob, how do you say his last name?
I see. Yeah.
No, Rob Chiquetto. That's why. Yeah. He is a man beyond his time. Also, a lot of people don't realize what he's done, who he's worked with. He's quiet in Sudbury.
Yeah.
It's strange how quiet he is in Sudbury. I'm not saying I am one to boast, but I would, if I did accomplish what Rob has, I'd probably be one to, I don't know, maybe be wearing a ribbon or something. I have no idea, but I'd be doing something.
Big sign, neon sign. Hey,
he's there as a guest. He's there for signatures. He's there for pictures.
Yeah.
He's there for all of his zombie portrait stuff. He has new exciting stuff coming up too with me in the future. We're going to start getting a lot of his stuff back in the publication with his zombie handbooks, and I'm very excited for Rob to be there.
Yeah.
He has helped us so tremendously. The original posters and everything. He's a great dude.
A few weeks ago, I came across a whole bunch of I have all these different styles of playing cards. So I have one from the 2001 Spider-Man, House of a Thousand Corpses, and one from a mystery pack that I had. I usually get these mystery boxes, and so I do unboxing. So I got one of those, and then Rob Chiquetto.
Something zombie art.
Zombie art,
Rob Zombie Portraits. We all call him Rob Zombie.
So I was listening to a song, and I just thought, I got this pile over here. And it's like, you know what? I feel like anytime I hear a song or a quote, I'll post it up on Facebook or something like that. And this was, it was a great lyric from a song, and I figured it fit. And it's the only card I need.
What is it?
Ace of Spades.
Oh!
So I posted it up, and it's got I made a whole thing and made a mess of my desk and just putting up the Ace of Spades that he has for his set. And it almost got him, hey, I should do those again. So, it's like he's got so much that he can bring back, and he's got so much more that he has.
I don't think people know. People know him as being for the Prince and things like that, right? And that's Rob is the hardest working artist I've ever met. He'll do 20 of those things in a day. So I mean, I'm not putting them down by no means. They're amazing. Everything Rob does is amazing. But what I'm saying is he is so much more. He is huge. He could be his own distributor and have 10 times the product a lot of these massive distributors have. And that's already in his house because he's been sitting there for years. And all he does when he's not dealing with other people, and he works at the Cambrian too, he's drawing, he's working, he's painting, he's making this, he's doing that. He is someone that has even inspired me to continue going at times when I don't want to. He doesn't give up. He doesn't stop.
And when I do have him in the studio, he is what I like to call my Rob Bruce. Do you know who Rob Bruce is? He was because he had passed away since. He was on Comic Book Men, a TV show that's based off of a Secret Stash. And it's a reality show.
I'm very familiar with Comic Book Men.
Yeah. And he's their resident guy who comes in and he actually...
With the point Dylan gray hair, he comes in and does the... Okay, he's dead?
Yeah, he passed away, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And my cousin, who I've told you before, I'm going to drop his name, I don't care, Peter Mahaichuk. His sister, so my other cousin, who's also in the industry as well, just loves rubbing it in my face that she went to Jersey, went to Secret Stash, and met Rob Bruce. So it's like...
It's funny you brought that up. Last week, and I was supposed to go to Jersey and meet Kevin Smith and Justin Long, do that Tuss thing, and then go to Secret Stash, and I had to work because the 6 coming up, so I pulled right out of that. I missed that. Jody from the Gory Hole is a local store in Sudbury. The Gory Hole.
Gory Hole.
Literally the greatest horror store. Actually, Sick and the Gory Hole are looking to do some exciting things in the future as well, so keep an eye out for that. But she went, and it looked absolutely amazing. But I was going to go, and we were going to go to Secret Stash. I would have been more interested in seeing like Walt Flanagan and stuff and talking about working on Clerks and playing like 100 different characters. I mean, I used to collect comics. I had plug your ears and tie. My ex-fiance may not have had the greatest breakup, and I lost that comic collection. Fortunately, it landed in the hands of my godson, who found it in a swamp in the back. So he got it graded, and there were some good comics in there. But I mean, no, I don't collect the comics anymore, but I would be interested to speak with those guys, that's for sure. Yeah, and just the fact that, you know, like, you see Walt, and in Clerks alone, just so many characters that he played, you know. And then, of course, his famous one in Mallrats, just calling Brian Johnson just Steve Dave. And I had to rewatch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back just for a costume type of thing, because I was doing a 90s... last weekend I was at a 90s Stag and Doe, and the wig I had wasn't right, so I had to watch the movie just to make sure. It's like, oh, I can't find a wig like that. So I ended up going as a Kevin Smith fan. And if anyone that's listening to this, so OJ, you went as yourself. I said, yeah, pretty much. So I had a Dogma hat. I had the 20th anniversary Mallrats shirt, but nobody could see the 20 years over in the corner here. So it was just a montage of, like, everyone on it. So I am a big Kevin Smith fan as well, and that's why my cousin says, hey, OJ, guess what I got to do? You know, that type of thing. So there was a small chance I almost worked on a Kevin Smith project, but it never came to fruition.
And
which project?
It was his hockey movie. That ended up being almost a series, and then 2 movies, and then it was based off of a song, actually. Yeah, so it was supposed to be, it was scouted. It was not even a scout. It was rumored that he was going to come up to Northern Ontario and film this up here. And it never came to be. No. So he ended up, what was it? Red State. No, not Red State. No, it was Yoga Hosers. He filmed up in, I think it was in Winnipeg.
Well, yeah, because he's doing his whole entire Canadian trilogy.
Yeah, that I'm waiting for that Moose Jaws.
I don't think we're going to get Moose Jaws. I think Johnny Depp made sure we're not going to get Moose Jaws after his great portrayal of Jacques, whatever his name was. And I love Tusk. I love that film because I'm a huge Parks fan, though. Red State was all... I'm telling you right now, when I saw Red State and I saw Kevin Smith was behind that, I was like, he's moving on. He's going to start making movies.
Yeah.
That ended up being a lie, Kevin Smith. After, I think I would give... Kevin Smith, when I was younger, and I'm a huge Mallrats fan, huge Clerks fan, a lot of Kevin Smith movie fans, even Cop Out. I'll watch Cop Out. But you going to smoke him when he pulls the gun out? I love that movie. I'll watch that. Now... knowing more about Kevin Smith, and like I know his life changed drastically with what he had. He's not in my top 10 anymore. That's for sure. That's all I'm saying. My snobby little art person in me. But no, I hope he gets back to doing those indies and stuff. I want to know what happened to that NFT film that he did. He did an entire film.
Oh, yeah.
And I was waiting for it for years, and all of a sudden I sold his NFT. So I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to distribute that. Waiting for that. Navigating the film industry now is pretty much just like walking in the dark. You're just trying to hope it comes out if this gets made, if this is released. Is it streaming? Is it theater? No one's going to the theaters anymore, so we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Like right now, I think what I saw yesterday was one number. So I guess today is one more. So it's 145 days of this Writers Guild strike in the States.
Oh, yeah.
145. They're still in positive negotiations, what they've been saying, but you know what? Getting the writers one thing, and then you're going to need the actors soon, and they're going to follow suit type of thing. So And then you see others, and the way I watch the strike and everything is they are doing it like they need to, and it's the fact of the world where yes, AI is coming in, but it's also more of the streaming stuff. Because you see all these contracts that they get nothing now because of and streaming is now the cable TV. That type of thing. It is the networks now, and they're getting. That's what I
tell people when they're excited for a Netflix release. I'm like, I can't tell you a darn tootin' time that I was ever excited for a TV movie to come out. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. And that's exactly what Netflix says. Oh, new Jamie Foxx movie is coming on Netflix. Who cares? It's trash. It's TV. And it ends up being usually that. I mean, there are Netflix movies that they keep silent so they can go for their awards. And Steven Spielberg is right. There's no movie competing for awards if it's a TV movie. Yeah. I understand it's still a production, but they, like with Bitcoin and streaming, they're starting to create things that no one can monitor. Like Netflix has never... Tell me the Netflix numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But apparently, and like Apple too, but apparently they have so much money left over, they're just going to buy Disney, do this. It's a joke now. And Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk there, had a great tweet, and everyone needs to abandon the studio system and start going independent. And drop these. The union who was there for you is about to be probably stampeded on it, if you ask my opinion. I had actors months ago from LA calling, oh, it's not going to happen. I'm like, are you insane? You're telling me that the companies that are already making $20 billion a year just figured out a way to make $50 billion? You're telling me they're not going to do it? Yeah. They'll drag this strike out for the next 10 years if they have to.
Yeah, because they even said, too, it's like the on the news, whoever's covering it, because I don't know about fake news and everything else, but if they don't get this contract within a week or come to a negotiation, they're going till next year.
I hope they don't come to a negotiation. Yeah. I hope these actors pull their head out from the dark and begin to start doing indie films again and begin to open their own independent studios. Yeah. And working on their own movies. Like, look at Mel Gibson. I know he's not the most liked person, but he put all of his money in The Passion of the Christ. Wahlberg, I know it's more like religious stuff, but M. Night, there you go. He remortgaged his house just to make Knock at the Cabin. Yeah. Like, we need those kind of people back in. I know it's hard to say that when you're just like, well, he remortgaged his house to make a movie. Jesus, you want that guy? You know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy industry. No. But at the same time, when you have these tyrants running your life, at the end of the day, it's nuts to me that it's like a bunch of people holding shovels while a backhoe is moving and everyone thinks it's not going to happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Like there is like, I know like the Screen Actors Guild when they did their, we're in solidarity of when we're going on strike, they also had some like speculations of like what you can and can't do and stuff like that. And when I think Cannes was happening recently, or Venice, and Adam Driver was there promoting Ferrari for Neon. Yeah. And that was an exception. And he's there talking about, it's like, okay, but what's hilarious about it is that you have an actor like him promoting a car movie, and his nameplate underneath it says his name, but just first initial and last name.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like
it's a driver.
Like Nicolas Cage just bailing out of Fantasia, or like with the Oppenheimer premiere, everyone just stood up and walked out. Like, you're not making a point because now you're just handing out sheets of paper that say you can do it and cannot do it. Yeah. For example, we had to move some guests and trade some guests off for sick because of the SAG strike, and when they said they couldn't do conventions or panels or things like that, which were nuts, and Lynn Griffin, who is, everyone knows her from like her Stratford plays and Black Christmas and Curtains, and like, she's a Canadian legend. She, the director Sophie Coppola got a pass for Priscilla, and Lynn Griffin's actually Dorothy, Elvis's grandma in that film, so she's allowed to speak about it. We had to go through all that kind of stuff. Who's allowed to do what? Who's allowed to say what? It's an absolute mess. I hope the strike is over, and I hope it's for the people. Like, you're right. It's like at the same time, you can't work as hard as they do, not get paid for it. But to think that these, like, I don't know. I personally call them devils, but these people that run the streaming services are going to have this humane side to them is almost, I don't know what the saying is about hoping and pooping, but I'm telling you, one weighs more than the other.
Yeah. So, is it warm in here?
It is warm in here.
You keep on mentioning the devil.
Yeah, I know. He's going to come up and get one of us. I'm sorry, all right? My mind on this is... Everyone, like my movie, everyone watches it when it came out, and Just went to film festivals, but it did well. Except the only criticism I get back all the time is it's the most depressing movie we've ever watched. I'm like, I don't feel that way though. Like when I watch it, they're like, yeah, it's about like humanity. It says like it's better the world when the humanity ends, and I'm like, that's just how the movie goes. It's not depressing. Like you're just a depressing guy. I'm like, I'm not really. I swear to God, I'm not.
And then you see some of my stuff, and it's all like...
Yeah. Meeting you was fantastic. I actually went down the OJ rabbit hole. Tons to discuss about that, actually. Are you coming to SICK?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No, because of the October 1st event. I had to book off from work, and...
You know, the guys doing the October 1st event are running our event on the 30th.
Yeah, I know.
So it doesn't work as an excuse.
So I'm trying to trade off with somebody at my job just to get that night off, that type of thing, because I am closing that night, and then I have to be at the event at Cruiser Club.
If you don't, I swear to God, there'll be an entire hour dedicated to how much SICK is going to just crap on OJ. Yeah.
Is sick of OJ.
Yeah, I'm sick of the juice. All right, we're moving on.
But so I don't know. I feel like I want to go a bit longer anyway. But we are at the hour mark, and I am obligated to play some ads. And I'm going to be stretching this out as thin as possible, too. Because I'm having fun here. We're talking on ReelMusic. We're talking with Douglas. Ewan.
I know. No one can ever
right?
say it. I know.
No, it's Ewan. It's just like...
Ewan.
Yeah. And like Obi-Wan. So we're going to play some ads. I'm going to play a quick little song here as well. Because it seems like when we're talking about what we were talking about, it almost seemed like the dark side. So
yes.
So we're gonna play some music, play a little song from something that I did tease that we are going to be celebrating this soundtrack, and it's of course off of vinyl. And of course, see if I can do this. We're gonna play the song first, and then so we're gonna be back for a few more minutes. There, we're gonna talk some more movies. We're gonna pick some ideas, and if I can get this going.
And reveal the secret screening at SICK.
And, so you're listening to ReelMusic on CKLU 96.7 FM, streaming online at CKLU.ca. And welcome back. We're going to make this maybe 20 minutes. It's going to cut it close because I still got to change and go to work. But, so we are still in the studio, live in the studio, and I just finished my Monster CKLU Studios, and you can hear the scratchy. Yes, folks. That was vinyl. That was Gary Clark Jr., his rendition, extended edition of Come Together from the 2017 film. Yeah, 2017. Obviously, it was featured in also probably the Snyder Cut as well. So, of Justice League. Of course, you know me, folks. I love vinyl. And before the break, we did Eddie and the Cruisers on the Dark Side. And speaking of the Dark Side, we still got Douglas here with SICK. And been talking about just in general movies. But now we're going to go... I know we were... talking also horror films and stuff like that. It's like, and I always ask the question, and we did that, of your favorite movie. Now, what's your favorite, or what's the first movie that you remember seeing as a kid? And then I'm going to add, okay,
the first
on the big screen.
I remember seeing as a kid on the big screen is going to be very underwhelming, but we're back at Dinosaur Story. So I'm from London, Ontario, but I was raised in real up north Ontario, about half an hour west of Dryden, Ontario, which is 4 hours north of Thunder Bay. So we had a mom and pop cinema when I was very young there because the town was thriving because we had a paper pulp mill. Once that mill closed, I was getting to the age where we can actually start doing these things. I moved to London when I was 15, so I didn't have a chance to get into the theater very often. We'd have to drive an hour to go to the closest theater in our town. My father brought me to We're Back Dinosaur Store, the first one I saw, but then they opened up a drive-in, so he'd bring me there a lot, so I got to see, like, you know, the classics, like Jurassic Park, Independence Day, but We're Back, A Dinosaur Story was the first. What year is that film? If I know what year it is, I can actually cement it, but that is the first film I remember being in the cinema and looking at the screen and being like, yeah, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't care what they put on this thing, I'll stare at it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, now I always share this too. Obviously, my favorite movie, and remember watching it. And I tell people, and our listener always knows. Oh, he's gonna mention Star Wars, and yes, Star Wars, and it was called Star Wars when it came out. But as my fan also knows that my fan is my sister. She was just 1 year old, and I was going to be 3 when Star Wars came out in Canada, which was October of '77. Fun fact, when it premiered I know they always say that May is the premiere. They had the Hollywood premiere in May. Mm-hmm. That's everything. So my wife was born when Star Wars came out. So
it was in the stars.
Yeah. So I always tell that story too of like how I met my wife and everything else. So it dates back to when I was born, of when we met. That like how the stars actually were, right? Because my dad was. This is how connected I am to this city, and how I probably will never leave this city. My dad was the second trainer for the Sudbury Wolves. And when I was born, it was hockey season. So the Wolves, the PA announcer, on behalf of the Wolves, would like to congratulate on a new addition to your family. You know, that type of thing. That PA announcer would be my wife's grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah. So connected there, and obviously like through Legion events and everything else, they knew each other and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, '93 hits around, and my wife gets her first job, and it's at the arena. And I've already been working a few years with the Wolves and such. So yeah. So destiny, right? So and it gets back to the January of '94, and our first date was a movie.
January '94. What movie could it be?
Now, I said this to somebody too, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, you ever play that game of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it. The movie was a Kevin Bacon movie.
It wasn't Tremors, was it?
No.
Hollow Man?
No.
Am I in the right genre?
No.
Oh, then go on with your Kevin. I'm not the biggest. I like bacon. I'll go that far.
Now, obviously, it was after Tremors, but before Hollow Man. Yeah, that's, I mean, you gotta admit.
After Tremors,
right? So,
Hollow Man.
Yeah. So you gotta remember, it's January.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's not Blockbuster month or anything.
No, it's not.
What is this movie?
It's almost like when Austin Powers says, or when Dr. Evil said that on SNL. It's like, if you want to kill a movie, just open it in January.
Yeah, that's 100%.
So it was a sports movie.
Keep going. Give me some more.
Sorry, I just saw a punch light go by. So, basketball.
Kevin Bacon basketball movie? No, I definitely don't want to watch this movie. Kevin Bacon basketball movie?
Nope.
Am I just?
And what's really funny too is like I tell this story and everything else, and
is he a coach?
Yes. And just this year, a movie came out about Michael Jordan.
Air.
Okay, that's in the title.
Really?
Yeah.
And
it's on Disney Plus right now.
It's not that dog basketball movie, is it?
No.
What is it?
He's almost like because I got to rewatch it again, but he's almost like he's a missionary, but not a missionary. Like he's out scouting, and he goes to like one of the African countries, and it's called The Air Up There.
The Air Up There. No. Yeah. I'm not even familiar with this movie. I'm not even going to lie to you.
So, yeah, it's on Disney. I found it on Disney+. It is a Disney movie, and it's in one of those styles of it should have been a Sunday afternoon movie or whatever, like a...
Yeah, if you want to kill a movie, release in January.
Yeah,
it's like,
so they had it, they released it, there we go. Yeah, so that was my first date movie with my wife.
That's a good first date movie.
Yeah.
It's a little easy, little Kevin Bacon. Everyone likes him. You can't get rid of it. I love Kevin Bacon. Like, especially, this is the thing. Like, I'm not the hugest Bacon movie fan. Like, I couldn't name all of his movies. But you put that man in front of a chair and give him a microphone, I'll listen to him forever. He's hilarious. His stories are great. He's very open. I remember in the 90s when he was... well, he wasn't like on the, I was going to say like protesting, but I mean, he was the first one, like in Wild Things and stuff too, that he wasn't the very first to do it or anything, but he was very big on like male nudity and not being shy and really bringing movies to the next really complex level. And he, he's a fantastic, he has a place out in Stratford actually. And, there's the whole stories behind that, but that's why I know so much about him on that area. But when it comes to his movies, if it's not Footloose or Tremors or Hollow Man, I don't know where else Kevin Bacon's been, but I mean, that's why I said when everyone does the 6 Degrees of Kevin. I know where else he's been. I know tons of movies. Now I'm thinking about it, but
have you seen the holiday special from last year?
The Guardians. Yes.
And the song that he sings.
I was so the reason I only kept watching it is because my stepdaughter was watching it on the television, and we turned it on, and I remember looking up, and she's in the UK right now, so I'm just saying hello to Jeanette. And they kidnapped Kevin Bacon. I'm like, are they kidnapping Kevin Bacon? And I'm like, I'll sit down and watch this. I'll take some time off. I'll watch this.
I'll take some notes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So, what else? What else do you want to talk about? We got, I gotta turn this off. Ted, quiet back there. Anyway.
I was just going to tell him, shut up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or it's active, Yeah, so, hopefully, things work out. He'll be wearing the nice shirt, and I'll be wearing the Astonishing Tales.
Do you have an Astonishing Tales shirt?
Yeah. I was like one of the first ones.
I hope their stuff is so good. Like I'm not lying. Like Brigitte, there was a company who wanted to make a figure of her when she's on the throne, and she sent me these reference photos from a comic book, and she's like, "Yeah, it's the comic book," and I was like, this is incredible. Why haven't I seen this before? So now I'm like, that whole universe, I know Andrew is very big into it, and if you watch special features and stuff. So I'm hoping they continue on this. And we get more of this, because that's what I'm looking forward to. But with Sick too, and I want to mention this too for everyone that's listening for Sudbury. Like, if you're not a huge horror movie fan, we did try and make sure we had, like, different kind of, I know, subgenres within horror. We have comedy, we have some that are very serious, some that are like, made from the 80s to the 2000s, like new Canadian premieres. Kept it very open, but we also have fantastic things. Like, instead of trophies, we're doing the Straight Jacket Awards that we're handing out. We have a therapist that comes on and afterwards, after the movies, and diagnoses the directors, and it's a complete gag. It's just for laughs. It's not for to make fun of anybody or anything like that. There's not going to be any serious diagnosis, but it's going to be a good time. We have Sudbury's own Restored, the band, playing live Saturday night, and an after party, and we're having. I would like to mention this 613 Electric Studio, the tattoo studio here in Sudbury. Martin, everyone knows Martin's behind these things. He is a huge supporter of Sick. Cup of Joe on Larch was a huge supporter of Sick. And they have been nothing but great to us. Limitless Balloon is doing like an amazing stand. Like, the local help that we've had through sponsorships is just something I wanted to highlight, because it has been absolutely phenomenal, and everyone has been great. And I can't even thank everyone that's been a part of this. Like, from the volunteers to all the companies that have lent a hand. The Plast Arts themselves, if you have a venue coming up and you need someone that knows what they're doing, hire them, because they're fantastic. I've had nothing but a great time doing this. I feel that it's coming to an end, which to me is an end of hectic work day. So I'm not saying I'm looking forward to it and not looking forward to it, because I'm really excited for the weekend. But I want to be able to enjoy this weekend and go with a bang, and then not have to work 20 hours a day on Sick for a little bit. But Sick has some great things actually coming up, and hopefully we can really get behind Sudbury and start changing things with big events and getting some weekends going where more families are involved. And I want people to know it's not all spooky. We're not trying to scare you or try and make you have a bad time.
It's just an acronym. That's all.
It is.
You know, like you bring in, even that, you know, you bring in like you add that creature aspect to it, and you bring in people that like can do like creature creations and stuff like that.
And
you know, like.
That's the thing.
You know, it's always something different, and it doesn't have to be that scary, suspenseful. No, there's other things behind the scenes, and I've worked behind the scenes as well. And like I said, my cousin, who's worked, he's art direction. I've met some people even last night, just saying hi again because I knew them when they were coming up into the industry in Sudbury too. They started in one area where it wasn't a genre for them, but it was work, as it were. And now they've actually like sprawled out, and now it was The Boy in the Woods that premiered last night, and it's like amazing movie. You know, like
there's a lot of amazing movies out there. And, like, people should understand the Cinefest is happening. If you can go see these movies, go see them. But it's with these indie movies. It's like Cronenberg, and I'm not saying I get compared to him all the time because I'm on his level or anything like that. All I'm saying is everyone knows I'm a huge Cronenberg fan. Yeah. But it's like when he said too, even when I was making movies and people were telling me like these are horror movies or you're writing horror movies, and I was like, I had no idea these were in that genre. They're just movies to me. This is what I wrote. This is it. If you don't like it, and things have to be marketed and packaged a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So I understand that, but yeah, no, I want people to know that Sick is more than just your average boo. It's in a scared and jump. It's an entire festival. We have workshops from John Stevens doing acting. We have Black Fawn coming in, Canada's largest physical producer of horror.
Yes. Yeah.
They're coming in doing a production and distribution. We have Alex Chung, who has, like I said, he's worked on Titans with the Robin actor, with the Foo Bar, with 100 things he's done. He's the PG Psycho Gorman stuntman. He has a workshop. We have women in film panels. We have, what other panels do we have? The creature panel, and that's another thing I want to say. So when I started this, Miranda McLeod, who runs she's a manager at the Sudbury Cinema. She's a co-founder with me, and she stayed there, and I turned it into a corporation. We found a bigger venue and stuff. It was her and I when we were talking. We were thinking about the name, and we wanted to keep it centric to one thing, like you said, creatures, and that's why it's Steve Kostanski's Psycho Gorman, because one of the main points of the festival is like, people build these things. Yeah. Like, this is not just like a few laughs and that hour and a half's over. This was someone's 3 years of their life.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, I never say I don't like a movie or I hate this movie. It's every movie has a quote or a scene or just a story behind it that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
And we have to start realizing that more, that yes, there's indie than there's studio. And these people that are doing indie, believe me, their heart is 10 times bigger than any studio executives ever will be. So when you go to see one of their movies, you're not just watching a movie. To them, you're watching someone's life, someone's experience. Even if it is something outrageous like The Astonishing Tales of Terror or Psycho Gorman, that is still a beautiful thought that someone put all their talent and emotion into and turned it into something for us to enjoy. So to put something down like that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why I try and celebrate it as much as I can.
Yeah. And you think about it too, it's like, it's not so much the creatures that are in the movie that try and scare you. No, this like Andrew, as it were. He's Dr. Frankenstein. This is his creation. That type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, and watching that behind, like I said, I'm a big fan of behind the scenes stuff and everything.
Here's a question for you then. What's your favorite DVD commentary?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a movie called Lost After Dark.
Really? That's your favorite? Okay, yeah. That commentary is good for other...
So, yeah. Only because... okay, so... fun fact about that movie, a portion of it was filmed at my house.
No.
Yeah. So when I tell people that it's the hero house, people, oh, and because you know horror films, you know what a hero house is, right?
Yes.
It's where all the victims happen. No, this is, so the story, you've seen the movie. So the beginning of it has that backstory of the girl.
Where is this filmed?
In Sudbury.
Yeah, okay. So okay.
Yeah. So it takes place, this your scene at the beginning takes place 5 years before, okay, and she gets killed, whatever, and then 1983, I think it was, 82, something like that, 83, yeah, because they put up picture of Ronald Reagan in my house. So, the house is where her dad and her sister live. And you would think that she's the final girl, but you know, so I look at it as being, okay, well, it's the final girl house, you know, that type of thing, right? And they filmed some of it at LaSalle Secondary.
Really?
Yeah. And of all things, I was not expecting this because it was a 12-hour shoot from 5 p.m. because he did some daylight stuff to after midnight, whatever, like 5 a.m. But I was not expecting to meet Robert Patrick.
That's
like T-1000 in my house.
Yes.
You know, like I wasn't expecting. I'm like on the other side. He just comes over, puts down his stogie. He's like, hey, goes over. It's like,
well, what year would have this been?
Hey, this was 2013.
Yeah, I was gonna say the kid line doesn't make sense there because I knew it was like somewhere in the 10s.
Yeah, because he would, and then after that, after we met him and everything else and production blah blah blah, the following year he had a new TV show called Scorpion, and my wife and I would watch it because we met him.
No, exactly. That's what you end up doing, right? When you come and you that's what a lot of people don't understand about movies. You start becoming a piece of them. They start having a meaning to you, and you start wanting to exactly. You follow them. That's great. That's the story. Mine would be one is Fight Club. That is one of the greatest commentaries of hands down all time. I don't know about the film. If you like the film or not, go watch the commentary. You'll never actually have a little mash of filmmaking genius and comedy mixed into one. I always tell people, I was not the biggest fan of film school. And I always let people know, too, if you don't know where to start and you want to get in film school is not a bad place to start because you'll meet people, you'll be on sets. It's a great place to start. But once I started getting out to it, I actually turned to commentaries and special features, and like everyone else on YouTube and all that. But that is where I got most of the knowledge. And listening to a director speak about the makings and hearing the difference in his voice when he has like a bad moment or a good moment, or a producer doing the same thing, it makes you start realizing how these movies are made. And that's why I always watch the commentary. That's all I'm trying to say here. If I ramble on for 20 minutes.
Now that I'm thinking what you just said, okay, Lost After Dark is up there, but I think now that I'm remembering it, Evil Dead 2.
That's a great one
because they actually explain that it's not a recap of the first 20 minutes of the movie.
I know, and it's so Miranda and I got in because I'm not the biggest Evil Dead fan. I'm not gonna lie. It's not because I hate him or anything. I love the TV show. I just never really got into him a lot. I just missed that bump in the generation, right? And she's telling me about Evil Dead 2. I'm like, oh, you mean when they remade the first one? And she's like, it's not a remake. It's completely different. And I went back and I watched it, and then you're right. When I went through it, I'm like, oh, okay, they explain it now. It makes sense to me. It's also like a little mini film school in there too, a little bit.
Yeah.
And Tropic Thunder. I don't. What is it? I don't cut character till the commentary's over. Or whatever. Yeah, that's my favorite part. And then when Robert Downey Jr. comes out of character.
But the Evil Dead 2, it also is from my childhood in the fact that I never saw it as a kid, but visiting family, I like to say overseas, but in Newfoundland. Where my mom's family lives there's like 3 houses on the one street, and the township called it their last name, that type of thing. So there's like my grandmother's house, and behind her was my uncle's place, and across the street was where my aunt lived. So it was just I'm not saying it on the air. I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway, my fan knows who it is. But my uncle also had a almost like a corner store or like a video rental as well.
Yeah. The local gas station.
Right. And one of the posters up there. Yeah, Evil Dead 2.
Oh,
and it was the skull with the eyeballs in it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So now that's why it hooked me there. And then on top of that, the following summer was the American Werewolf in London with Rick Baker and the reverse special effects and everything else. And it's like, I dissected that while watching it. It's like, they must have did that in reverse or something like that. And afterwards, I have it on. And it's like, they did. So.
And that's why, too, was sick. I want people to know, like, when you're watching these movies, get into it, like, with that kind of mentality. How'd this happen? Like, what went on here? Like, how do I do this? You know what I mean? Like, and that's where the enjoyment comes from.
And now, and the other aspect too is because I've been on sets in Sudbury and watching them. It's like, I know where that was. I know where this was. That was there.
Well,
so just recently, Zombie Town came out.
Yep. Yeah.
They filmed down the road.
Yeah, they were actually filming during year one. Yeah.
You can see this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look up. This is Elgin. Yeah, so they look up this way to Elgin, and you can see the side of the building. Obviously, you can't see the lettering and everything else, but the grand outside, and it's like.
Yeah, that's another reason why in the Sioux, when I went to film school, I went as a mature student. I was in an accident. I went to school, and my teacher was speaking with Stephen Kostansky because they just shot The Void in Sault Ste. Marie, which was, you want to talk about movies, one of my favorite horror movies in the last decade or so. That's it. That was one of them I saw. I was like, okay, it's coming back, and then. I mean, it kind of did. But that movie really gave me high hopes and really made me want to stay in the industry for a while. But yeah, that was shot in Sault Ste. Marie, the abandoned hospital and stuff, and I was watching with her, and she said, oh, yeah, I remember that room and stuff. And it's crazy when you can have that.
Yeah. So, so I got to go to work.
Get to work.
Yeah, so this has been fun. I'd like to thank Natalia. I got it? Yeah. And Douglas for coming in. Ted, you got anything to add? He's speechless. So, again, thank you very much. Don't forget, Sick is next weekend, which is the 29th and 30th of September and October 1st.
And really quick, just to make them late for work. We will be screening Demons 1985 at the Gory Hole at a private screening with Greta Gretter there in person with secret merch that only sick people will get now. Tickets go on sale to the general public Monday.
Demons, really? You had to do that to me. Oh. One of my cousins on the rock. I always put it out there, and you're obviously gonna make me late now. I always put it out there once in a while. What soundtrack should I feature? And my cousin from Newfoundland, just do Demons. It's like, all right, I can try.
Having Greta is literally one of the greatest parts of the set. But yes, I'll let you get to work.
All right.
That's the secret announcement.
So, until next time, folks. I'm OJ.
I'm Doug.
And
Natalia.
And